Hi, I'm Burridge, and this is the Electronic Groove podcast. The first music I really fell into was pop music. I was living in a fairly remote area of the country, it's the countryside. I was actually living in a village with 47 people in it. I think the first thing that really excited me that seemed very different was just music like to breakdance to. So I really got into the breakdance movies, and I was really into that sort of, I remember buying the electro albums and stuff. Having discovered in 1987 crazy people dancing in a field near London to this music that just was like, what the fuck is this? I have no sort of, I can't grab onto any other form of music that it reminds me of. It just was new. And I think from that point on, that's what influenced me, this really interesting music that was different. And I just went out and sort of looked to find record shops and try and find it myself while still living in the village of 47 people. Tyrant was something that came about after I moved from Hong Kong, although my first interaction with Craig Richards was in Hong Kong. We hung out a bunch of times and really sort of hit it off. He'd come to Hong Kong with Seb Fontaine, actually, of all people, and was the promoter of a night in London that Seb was the DJ at. And I remember this, the promoter in Hong Kong saying, yeah, we've got Seb Fontaine playing, and some guy called Craig Richards. And I was like, you can't let the promoter play, he's probably terrible, he sucks. And Seb came and sucked, and Craig played and was fantastic. And so I'm like, all right, I gotta shut up right now. I shouldn't put that kind of thing out there. After about a year of being in London, we started Tyrant, which initially involved Sasha. And Craig and I were just the kind of warm-up DJs, and time went by. Sasha did his thing and kind of moved on. He didn't need it anymore. And by this point, we'd already established a regular crowd, and that regular crowd was split between 50% of the people that are just Sashaites and, oh my God, we love him, and then 50% of the people that were really digging what we were doing. We would sometimes play at the end as well as the beginning, and slowly Sasha he was missing a few parties. He didn't make it back from New York, whatever he was working on. He was still working on, and suddenly we were in the spotlight and it was only us. It gave us the opportunity to really sort of push a sound which was exciting us at the time, which I guess you would call tech house. It was very West Coast influenced, and we got offered to do a CD. We put out our first mix CD, which when we were making it, we actually had no idea how many it would sell. We couldn't decide if in fact, I think we chose the 800 as the amount it would sell. We kind of thought, oh, it's a sweet little CD with music on that we like. And once again, just through timing and press, and I guess the CD was good. People still to this day tell me how much they love that CD, and they still listen to that CD. We picked the right records at the time, I suppose. With this Balance compilation, I took off some time from DJing because I really wanted to kind of put together a package, because it was 3 CDs that seemed that it wasn't hurried and thrown together to get some press. I took off this time in April and May and went to my basement where I've got all my equipment and just kind of lived down there for 2 months. I really concentrated on making tracks, the overlap of tracks, create a new track, not just be a neat join, a neat sort of segue into the next track. So I really wanted to make something that worked musically and sort of had flow. And I struggled actually with the second CD. It just wouldn't come together until the last few days, when I kind of got fucked up one morning and around 9 a.m. took 2 E's, and it kind of worked out.